like a diaper. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. It looks like a diaper. Hi, internet friends. Today's the last day of Vlogmas. We did it! We're here! We made it! Hooray! I thought I would end Vlogmas with just a cozy, casual chat about 2024 fashion trends. Now, I always get a little nervous making videos like this because I never want to come across as saying you should buy something. I never really want people to feel like they have to invest in a certain sort of style or trend just to feel like they have completed their wardrobe, because you're just going to be constantly chasing that feeling. I do, however, though, absolutely love talking about and dissecting trends, because that's really what has grown my entire business, was just understanding how trend forecasting works, what trend forecasting is, why it's so important to know about the current trends as well as previous trends. So on that note, let's go ahead and talk about all of the 2024 trends that I am super excited about, and a few that I'm like, meh, I'm gonna pass on that for sure. My personal favorite trend that is popping up next year is going to be business clothes. I love seeing this. I think over the last 4 years, we've definitely come out of our like cocoon, I guess you could look at it as, of just dressing in sweatpants and athleisure. It seemed like that was all people were wearing for such a long time. And I really think we're starting to see the pendulum swing into just feeling comfortable going out in a full-on business look. If you want to go out in a suit, it's gonna make sense. It's not gonna stick out like a sore thumb. I think it's just a very polished way to dress right now. The 90s minimalism trend just will never go out of style. I don't think that will ever look weird. And I think right now we're seeing a reflection of that, where it's just like, man, you can rock a three-piece suit and not look bizarre. And you can also piece together your own suits. As someone who is an avid thrifter, I know it's very rare that I will walk into a thrift store and find a nice three-piece suit. So for me, I oftentimes have to piece together looks that make sense in my wardrobe. Sometimes they'll be mismatched. I always love the challenge of trying to piece items together that still give off that look of what's on trend. Another trend that I like that falls into this niche is vests. I've been talking about vests for a really long time now. I think it's been at least the last couple of years that I've been trying to find the perfect vest. I actually still haven't. I'm still on the hunt for one, so challenge accepted. Maybe 2024 will be my year that I finally find a good vest. I do like the idea or the concept that long vests are also in style right now. I thrifted an H&M long vest that I absolutely love. It's actually not even my size. I think it's a size medium or large. And it fits me well because I like the oversized look of it. I actually like that it's not polished. It's very undone. It kind of has those tuxedo vibes, and I think it's one of those pieces that I can wear with denim. I can wear with maybe some black trouser pants, some wide leg fit, you name it. I think that kind of undone yet polished look is something that I can so easily pull off with a vest like this. The next trend I think is actually swinging that pendulum back into the category that I was just talking about with sportswear. I definitely saw a rise last year in those Adidas thrifted jerseys. You see the Samba shoes are huge right now. Just all of this like soccer style sportswear is a massive trend. I've talked about it already, but Bella Hadid wearing that soccer jersey, just, you saw everybody in the thrift stores looking specifically for soccer jerseys. But I think this trend is just going to go even further this year with almost like an anything goes kind of feeling, which I think is just fashion right now in general. Anything goes. But one of my favorite trends that's coming out of that style is tall socks. I absolutely love to see really tall socks, whether they have prints on them, whether they are like a soccer style sock, you name it. I just really like to see that style. And I do think it's pretty funny that like the younger generation is saying that that's the way that you can tell the difference or the divide in age, is if someone's wearing those tall socks versus if they're just wearing like sockless tennis shoes. Which I do the sockless tennis shoe look all the time. So clearly I'm in my late 30s, but I do absolutely love that trend, even though it's something that I see the younger generation doing more. definitely something that I'm on the hunt for and I want to try out. But another thing that I love to see, and I think I especially am excited about this because I am a thrifter and this is something that I pick up almost on a regular basis, is some of those older style brands. So think like Polo, Ralph Lauren, Adidas is another good example, Tommy Hilfiger, any of those older, well-established brands, almost like a preppy sporty is what it looks like 2024 is going to be all about. And I'm excited to see that because I think vintage Ralph Lauren is just a dime a dozen in the thrift store. Some of my personal favorite finds as far as the sort of heritage aesthetic vibe goes is the Rugby Polo Ralph Lauren label. I love finding that at thrift stores. They're very rare these days. Most people are keeping them in their archival wardrobe. But if you happen upon the Rugby Polo Ralph Lauren label, it's such a fun piece. And I really think that style is what we're gonna see kind of carry over into 2024. This I am so excited to see because this is a testament to how people are starting to frame fashion. And that's knitwear and draped knitwear. And specifically, it's calling into attention the cashmere knits, no acrylic, no polyester, quality is what it sounds like people are asking for. I personally don't shop online very often, so when I do come across websites that list out their product details, I am fascinated by how brands are starting to talk about the quality of their clothes. One of the brands that stands out the most is H&M because H&M actually has started listing, and I don't know how long this has been going on. Maybe it's been going on for 5 years and I've been living under a rock, but H&M has been listing what and how their products are made. And I was shocked to see that because that puts the power so much more in our hands, because when we see that something is made from fossil fuel, maybe 100% acrylic knit, it gives us the ability to just say no, to walk away from it. Whereas a lot of times those are fine print, you can't seek them out on the website, and it's harder to determine what and how this product was made. But I think more and more brands are starting to recognize the fact that we are becoming very conscious and very aware of how these products are made. And we're honestly very tired of these low quality pieces. So I am very excited to hear knitwear just being a category of its own and mainly based in the actual quality of the clothes. This is probably the most interesting one to me, but that's the rise of big handbags. I almost wonder if we have Carla Rockmore herself to question for this. I love her. I've been following her for a couple years now at least. She launched her big kind of shoulder bag, which I remember in the very early 2000s that being a thing, like those big kind of satchel bags. But I remember all the celebrities rocking them, and I am so excited to see this style come back around because it's just so practical. Like, I rock my Uniqlo crossbody handbag all the time, but if I want something that's a little bit bigger and a little more durable, I think this is the way to go. Like, it is just such a fun look. It adds a whole nother element to your outfit, but just big handbags in general seem to be all the rage right now, which I find fascinating because that's just another perfect example of that pendulum swinging. Because for the last 2 or 3 years, I mean, the bags were just getting tinier and tinier. Like, it was almost becoming a joke at this point. All you could fit in a bag was one piece of lipstick and that was it. So I really like seeing this trend kind of come back around. I personally have been gravitating towards puffy bags. That's been my personal favorite. That's something that I tend to add into my wardrobe more than a couple occasions. I've either thrifted or purchased brand new, those like big kind of quilted puffy bags. Pretty much any large bag seems to be on trend at the moment. This is another one that I found really interesting, but aprons. I was really excited to see this. I'm really big into pinafore style dresses. I love finding any vintage version of that, but I love the idea of this because it's just a play on layering. Or if you want to be a little bit more out there with the style, I think a lot of times just leaving it, maybe putting a little bit of boob tape on the side, and oh my gosh, it's such a fun look. I love apron dresses. I've been selling them for years, so to see this actually on the trend list was one of the things that I was probably the most shocked and excited about, because it's always been in the wheelhouse of fashion, but to see it actually labeled as a trend, I love to see that. This next one always feels a little funny saying, because it's like, oh, this should always be in style, but skirts, just skirts in general, It's always so weird when you see that listed out on some of the top websites like Vogue or Harper's Bazaar or any of those. Like, duh, skirts are always in style. But I really do think this deserves a place on the trend list because it seems like, yet again, anything goes with skirts. Micro, mini, midi, and maxi. Any extreme of the skirt will do. And I love seeing this. I think that's a lot of fun because you can walk into pretty much any thrift store and find whatever variation of that. The only thing that I guess you could say I don't see on the list is kind of that straight pencil skirt, the mini and the midi straight pencil skirt. I think that might seem a little bit dated, but pretty much any style right now I think works in the skirt realm. And I love to see that. I think a lot of the 1980s long pleated skirts that maybe felt a little bit dated in the last 5 years now seems to be taking over. That's all I'm really seeing. And I'm seeing it in a lot of high-end designer brands. You guys know how I feel about Sandy Liang. I talk about her all the time, but that's a really good example of just kind of taking an ode or a note from the 1980s long kind of workwear skirts. I feel like Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 is just, that's the vibe right now. That's the jam. Working 9 to 5. And the last big trend that I'm seeing everywhere, leather. Just leather anything right now. I feel like leather is so big at the moment. You're seeing these like really strong masculine leather jackets with like very specific shapes. We're not talking just like a classic moto fitted kind of cafe racer jacket. We're talking like, well, bam, leather jackets, statement pieces, very 1980s in my opinion, very hourglass kind of gaudy vibes to it. So I'm excited to see that, but also leather maxi skirts, leather pants. Leather pants are a hard one for me to commit to, especially in this climate, but pretty much anywhere that I've lived in, I don't think I would rock leather pants because chafing, sweat, all those things, no thank you, and they're almost impossible to clean. Practicality of leather, probably not gonna fit in my wardrobe, but never say never, who knows? It might be something that I eventually invest in. A couple trends that I don't think I will necessarily be participating in the way that they are advertising them. The micro shorts, I just am so fascinated by this trend and why it's a thing, because it does not seem practical. It's not something that I see every day, and I would very much like to hear if you've seen it out and about. Like, there are some trends that I think, oh, I would personally never wear that, but I do see them. But this specific trend, the micro mini, almost, it looks like a diaper. Okay, I'm just gonna say it. It looks like a diaper. I don't see those trends out in public, so it feels like kind of a funny one to hear and see on the trend prediction list just over and over again. It seems like for the last 2 years, it's almost like stop trying to make these micro mini shorts work.
Gretchen, stop trying to make fetch happen.
There's one account in particular that I saw style them up recently that I just was blown away by the styling. Her Instagram handle is Ven's Wife Style. Been following her for a little while now, and I just loved seeing her style this up. It was just so beautiful and so elegant, but she also clearly has the wardrobe to piece something like this together in a practical way. But I think for your average consumer, it just looks too over the top. It just doesn't make sense. So is it a fun art piece that I love seeing styled up? Yes, absolutely. Is it something that I personally think I will do? Probably not. The next set of trends, I think I specifically say no to styling these pieces because they just sound silly. But it's pretty much anytime you see colors as the style, like a white dress, for instance, is supposed to be big next year. Black dresses, supposed to be big next year. It's just such a generalized way of saying that that's going to be big because that's always the style. Like, come on now. So personally, I'm not gonna go out and just try and find a white dress because they're a dime a dozen. They're so easy to find. But if I find something that I think fits into my personal style, yes, absolutely, I'm gonna do that. But I always find it a little bit perplexing when I see that as just the style. Like, little black dress, always in style. Come on now. That is it for today's video. As I mentioned before, this was the last day of Vlogmas. One, I just want to say thank you if you guys stuck around and watched all these videos. I've had so much fun with this, to the point that I'm almost like, what can I maintain in the next coming months what is my prediction for 2024? I would love to try and maintain kind of the steady pace that I'm going at with creating YouTube videos. I really enjoy doing this. I really enjoy talking about clothes. I really enjoy thrifting with you guys. So hopefully 2024 has that in mind. Maybe with a little bit of sprinkle of Disney in there too. I know that's not for everybody. One of my major goals for 2024 is to reach a point where I have a little bit more time carved into posting videos to put timestamps in them, because I know, I get it. Disney is not for everybody. I'd love to figure out a good rhythm and feel for how I can kind of piece these videos together. That being said, thank you so much for watching. If you guys are new around here, I might have a couple extra videos for you right here and right here, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.